That's a nice win for the Indiana Pacers, who I don't think anyone really expected to come out and look quite that good after how much the Celtics drubbed them 2 nights before. 37-point Celtics win. Friday night, 9-point Pacers win 2 days later. Very impressive response from the Pacers, who absolutely needed it after getting 2 tough losses in a row, and they're back-to-back against OKC and Boston. I'm Tony East. I host Locked On Pacers and cover the team for Forbes. A lot to discuss from Pacers-Celtics round 2. Pacers win the season series against the Boston Celtics this season after winning this one in Boston. Very impressive. And it's hard to point to anyone who played bad for the Pacers. I think only one player you could really argue had a totally inadequate substandard night, and that's TJ McConnell, who was 1 for 6. Everyone else who played did stuff really well. Not just pretty well, really well, and was effective in multiple ways. I think Rick Carlisle nailed the key thing to me that I would talk about from this with 2 statements. One he said after the game, and one he said a bunch during the game. After the game, he talked about his team playing with force. And he says that a lot, and sometimes it feels like it means nothing. On nights like tonight, it feels like it means something. When the Pacers are hitting at the right times on defense and popping the ball around on offense. But to me, the play with force looked like this. When they would get the ball around the rim, they were going up strong in a major way. 27 free throw attempts tonight for the Pacers, only 19 for the Celtics. That was a big way for the Pacers to balance this game a bit in their favor. And when they had chances to finish in no traffic with no one around them, they just friggin' dunked it. And I know that sounds so simple, but I feel like a lot of NBA players have this problem of just trying to put the ball in the basket. Whoever it was in this game, Thomas Bryant, Miles Turner, I think had the 2 most notable ones. They just punched it. They just got up and said boom and threw it down. Ben Mathurin had some very, very physical finishes. Pascal Siakam was effective around the basket. Andrew Nembhard was. Tyrese Haliburton took 9 free throws. We will definitely be talking more about him. I think playing with force was key for the Pacers. The other thing that Carlisle kept stressing during the game, Jeremiah Johnson, the sideline reporter for FanDuel Sports Network, kept pointing this out during the game, was pace. The Pacers kept up their tempo in this game, and that's when they're at their best. And it's so easy to say play with pace, and sometimes it's easy to execute playing with pace, but for a full team spirited effort to do it, what it looks like is getting into your offense quickly. That's how you get into the paint really quickly. The Pacers had 66 points in the paint and a plus 18 advantage there. That's how you get out in transition and run. The Pacers 18 fast break points. The Celtics had 4. And that's how you win the points off turnovers battle, 10-6. Really impressive stuff from the Pacers to play the exact style they wanted and get this win and recover from a lot of stuff that was pathetic in their first game against Boston, right? Everybody expected them to lose Friday. I don't even mean that to excuse their performance, but no one expected them to get out-hustled badly. Peyton Pritchard had 5 offensive rebounds in that game, right? A lot of guys were crushing the offensive glass for the Celtics. Only 8 total offensive boards for Boston in this game, and only 2 guys had more than 1. It was Nehemiah Queta and Tatum. That's okay, right? The Pacers did much better on the glass, winning the rebounding battle 50-51. Pacers cleaned up their turnovers, got it below 9. They kept their fouls down. They just cleaned up everything. And an amazing part of this win for the Pacers, they only took 23 three-pointers. The Celtics shot 54 and only made 16. That swing in efficiency from deep also a big turn in the Pacers' favor. So everything that went wrong against Boston just a few days ago for the same Pacers team went right today. Some of that stuff they focused on, that pace and that playing with force. Some of that stuff they had to correct from last game, like the turnovers, like the offensive rebounds, and a little bit of help with the 3-ball. And they got all of it in this game. Really, really impressive response from the now 16-17 Pacers. That's a bad record, and I think the Pacers should not feel great about being under 500. I think they should feel great about their response from being 10-15 and 9-14 even before that, and now reaching this point by winning 7 of their last 10 against good competition, right? This wasn't just them cruising through a soft schedule. In fact, the opposite. They had a soft schedule in late November into early December and did a terrible job against that set. Then as soon as their schedule got air quotes hard again, they beat Philly, they beat Phoenix, they beat Sacramento, they beat Golden State, and now they've beaten Boston. Really peculiar, but here's where they are. And the story of this game individually was Tyrese Haliburton, who after 2 games ago, 4.6 shot attempts against the Thunder, and everybody questioning what was going on, why wasn't he looking at the rim, how did they get him going, was the only Pacer over 17 points in this game. He had 31, 11 for 19, and was awesome inside the arc, 10 for 13 on 2s. I'd have to look for a while to find the last time Tyrese Haliburton took 13 two-point shots in a game. He was magnificent attacking the rim, and then again, 9 free throw attempts as well. His shot chart was all around the basket, 6 boards and 7 assists. He was just playing a way that is really effective when he's being defended like that. They weren't putting a ton of pressure on him from deep. They weren't overloading his side of the court. He could really just flow into two-man actions with any big and get a shot that he liked, or get into a floater or anything like that. He didn't need to get up as many threes to get open like he has in some other games of late. It's very rare that he looks that sensational on only 6 3-point attempts and 1 make in a game, but he did. He was awesome in that way in this game, and for him to have 31 on a 1 made 3 was just terrific. I thought he was awesome, and he carried the Pacers in many ways late in this game. The second half, he was in takeover mode. When he came in, he and other guys, but he was a big part of a crew that stabilized things when the Celtics got this one very close 2-point game in the fourth quarter. Tyrese Haliburton, second half, 18 of his points came in that stretch. He was awesome. One of his best scoring games of this season to get the Pacers this win. I said more than 17 points because two guys had 17. They were both also terrific at different things. Pascal Siakam was one of them. Wow, shocker. Siakam was good, as he's been all season. 17 points on 11 shots, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. He just did a little bit of everything. They switched him onto Jason Tatum in the second half, something I've been wanting to see the Pacers try for a while, although I think that was more Jaylen Brown motivated than anything. Siakam went to the rim every time he was defended by a guard. He was great. Andrew Nembhard continues to be the glue. He was good in this game at the stuff he's usually very good at in his best game. 17 points on 12 shots, 8 boards, 8 assists. He was really moving the ball like he was against the Celtics last season in the playoffs. He was getting to the rim a lot, right? He looked terrific. He was a post-game interview with the FanDuel Sports Network broadcast and said a lot of things about the Pacers' pace, but what really stood out for me about his game was a stretch in the second quarter where the Pacers took out TJ McConnell, who was kind of ineffective, and went to a lineup with just Nembhard as the one. They very rarely play one-point guard stretches, and that lineup was awesome. Absolutely awesome. I believe it was Nembhard, Shepard, Mathurin, Nembhard, Mathurin, Walker, Siakam, and Thomas Bryant. That group was huge in getting the Pacers some separation. So those two 17-point scorers were great. One of Ben Mathurin's best games of the season with 14 points on just 8 shots. He made 6 of them. Miles Turner had forceful plays. He played very well. Everyone chipped in. Ben Shepard with key threes. Darius Walker with his 3rd straight double-digit scoring game and 5 rebounds. Thomas Bryant, 4 for 6, playing with force. 3 offensive rebounds for all of his boards. You could really point to anybody who played for the Pacers in this game and say they did a job, they did something of note. I thought Thomas Bryant in particular played 2 good games in a row. They've needed him to be good with Obi Toppin out again, and he was in both of these games. That's why they traded for him, right? They needed everybody to play a certain way and be focused on a game plan and give them something to take down a very tough opponent like the Celtics, who can feel unfair sometimes, and that is exactly what happened in this game. Pacers, a little bit of life. They can get to 500 by the end of the year would be hard to fathom given how bad they were in early December, but here they are. They give themselves a chance with a good win. I'll have much more on the Locked On Pacers podcast, and a story on Darius Walker for you guys to read has been published on Forbes. Thanks for watching. See ya after Pacers Bucks.